still a child, and you were trying to find somewhere that basically you were trying to survive. You were trying to find somewhere to sleep. You were trying to stay safe in as many ways as you could. Obviously, being a child, you don't know what to do. You haven't got any money. You can't get a job. You can't work. So you're trying to find places where people will help you. And a lot of them, you've said in your book, they did not. They would not. And there's some that you said may have tried to. Now, can I ask you, have you ever seen any of these people, whether the ones that tried to help you or whether the ones that hurt you, have you ever seen any of them since you got older?
I seen maybe one or two of them. Yes, that I seen one or two of them, but the people that I was that the young girl inside the book, I think her name I named her Should, and her family. The whole family is not. Right, like right now today, they're on drugs.
Wow.
So
her whole family.
Everybody, because the house that I was living in, when I did find somewhere where I can go, it was drug infested. It was people doing all types of drugs up in there. Wow. But I couldn't take it no more, and I needed somewhere to sleep. Because it began to get, wintertime. It began to get real cold, and I just couldn't. I couldn't walk the streets anymore. I got tired. I got tired of being, raped. I got tired of being, beat up. Because it was some men out here that, after they raped me, they would, I would trying to stop them, and they would jump on me. They would fight me. Grown men, and that's how I got hit in the eye several times. And that's what caused me to be blind today. It messed up the back of the eye very badly. It messed up the back of the eye. And I had so many surgeries, but the surgeries, they tried to correct it. But everybody has a bulb inside their eye, the light, and my light is gone because it was blown while I was sitting up.
Wow.
So I just, like I said, I just want to get the message out to kids as much as possible to don't be so, because there's a lot of kids be really, anxious to, leave home, to, get out there on the streets. It's nothing out there. And I want kids to know, to be grateful. If you have a mother and a father, be grateful, because Mrs. Wallace, didn't have that. Coming up, I was raised from the streets. And even if you just have a mother or if you just have a father, either one, if you got one of your parents, be grateful, because a lot of us that's been abused and neglected, abandoned, didn't have that. I know for sure Mrs. Wallace didn't have that, So, and that's why I just want kids to know to be grateful, be grateful and be thankful that you got your parents or you got one of your parents. Be happy.
Wow. Yeah. Your story is an inspiration, as I've said today. And we know there are people out there listening. If you have any comments you would like to let us know at Ask Avani Show. Wow. Emily Wallace, writer of the book Scarred for Life. We're about to take another short break, Emily, but we'll be back after this. This next song is apt because you have definitely been through this to get to where you are today. The healing process, healing Kelly Price. We'll be back after this.
My name is Emily Wallace. I am the author of a book called Scarred for Life. And you're listening to Ask Avani Show.
Good afternoon and welcome back. You are tuned into the Ask Avani Show here on Soul Metro Radio this afternoon. Yes, we have a very, very special guest here, author and motivational speaker Emily Wallace, who is the writer of the book Scarred for Life. And we also do have Kay Rose, who's director of the Ask Avani Show. He has been in the background this afternoon, haven't you, Kay Rose?
Yes, just handling some technical difficulties, but everything is good now. Everything is great now.
Yes. So welcome back, Emily. Please. Wow, your story is amazing. It's shocking. It's inspirational. I mean, I don't have enough words to describe. As I said before, earlier on in the show, when I heard about you and I heard about your story, it was a definitive. I had to have you on the show. I wanted wanted to hear your story. I wanted you to get the chance to ask, to tell everyone about your story and for us to ask you questions because I know you want to get your message out. So, wow. Can I just ask you, did you, when you decided to write your book and speak about what happened to you, that was a very brave decision, but was it something that you had always planned to do once you got older?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't plan to. I wasn't planning to be a writer. As when I was smaller, I always wanted to be a teacher.
Wow. But you are being a teacher, though. In obviously, unfortunately, because of the circumstances, you're teaching about this particular subject. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to, teach kids and, in school. I always wanted to do something when I was smaller, do something with, with kids, to help kids. That was my goal, to help kids because,
wow.
Kids is very important. And, right now, I didn't, and I tell a lot of kids too, school is very important because if you don't get that education, you don't have nothing. You have to get your education, and that's another thing to be grateful and thankful that your parents, send you to school, clothing you, feed you. Be grateful for that because I'm working on my high school diploma, and I'm 47 years old. Wow. And by me being blind, it's very hard. I finally found a school, Haley School for the Blind, so I can get my education, so I can, get my high school diploma, and I'm grateful for it because I've been searching, looking. I even had a tutor where, a tutor wanted, she was tutoring me, trying to help me get my education because, I was in the last grade I completed was the fifth grade, and it was hard for her. I didn't get upset with her, but it was hard for her. She, was trying to teach me, and but it was very hard. So I ended up, to the grace of God, my counselor with Michigan Commission for the Blind found the school that would help me get my high school diploma, and I should have it in September of this year.
Fantastic! Oh, fantastic! Oh, wow. Yes, I know that will be something. And yet another. So the fact that you, as you said, haven't even managed to complete your education because obviously of the horrific things that you went through. And so you were trying to get that, compound that with the fact that unfortunately now you are legally blind. So you don't understand. People out there, you must realize this is a very, very inspirational lady. After everything that she has been through, she is still managing to get her education. And she's written books, many books, people, we are going to let you know. She has written many books. She's managed to publish her autobiography. She has more parts of that autobiography to be published. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, you should be so proud of yourself in so many aspects for what you've been through, that you survived, that you are doing what you're doing today, and you can speak out. You're strong enough. Not many people would be strong enough, as I said this to you, to speak out continuously the way you do about your life, something so personal. That's very personal.
Sometimes, when I was saying the speech a few minutes ago, sometimes it hit me though. Sometimes it will hit me, but Mrs. Wallace, keep going. I don't let it stop me. I just keep going because I want to get this message out there to these kids, and Mrs. Wallace wants to get this message out there. Any way I can, Mrs. Wallace is game for to do that because I want to get it out there. I want to get this story out there where a lot of people, because it can help some adults. If an adult going through something, they pick up the book and read my book, I think it'll help them.
Absolutely.
It's just so much that I've been through, and I try, not to let anything bothers me. But sometimes I will get emotions. I will, I'm human. And if sometimes I sit up and I talk about it, I want to do that. Even though my heart be like, sometimes like, wow, it hurts, but I keep going because I want this story to get out there. I want kids to be able to speak out. Do not hold it inside, because if you hold it inside, it gets worse. It gets worse, and you have to, get someone. Ain't nothing. A lot of people out here and kids think
Was
it's
it
a problem.
a hard decision when you decided to write your autobiography then?
Yeah, it was.
Was it really
It was a
hard,
hard
Emily?
decision. It was hard when my daughter, when I first told my husband, I didn't tell my husband I was with him 8 years. I was still having nightmares. I was still thinking about if I go past a certain place where I've been raped or something happened or anything. I didn't tell it to my husband. My husband was, I act like nothing never happened, but I kept it all inside. And what it was doing, it was just damaging me more. It was damaging me more. So I decided to tell my husband, and my daughter said, "Mom, won't you write a book?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Mom, you can help a lot of kids, and you can help a lot of people that tell your story." So I was a little delirious. I was afraid, to be honest with you, because I bypassed it with my family too. I did do that. I bypassed it like nothing ever happened. I still was, going around them, and I still was like nothing happened. I didn't want to think of it, even though I was feeling it at nighttime when I went home to go to bed and going through something. I just bypassed it. And then I just said one day, okay, I need to tell this story. I can't keep it in no longer. I sat there with, my husband and my kids, and I decided to say, hey, I'm going to write this book. And it took me, and I would not lie to you, Amani, it took me maybe a month. 1 month to write this first book. It took me 1 month. And I was done. And I was
Kay Rose, the producer.
So I can write really fast. I can write pretty quick. But the only thing is, once I write it, I can't see it no more. So I have to have someone, because I can't see to read.
Right.
So I have to have someone read it to me, what I wrote.
You're listening to the Ask Avani Show on Soul Metro Radio.
Good afternoon and welcome back. This is the Ask Avani Show. Apologies, everybody, for tech issues behind the scenes, but we are back and we still have on the line our special guest today on the show, author and motivational speaker, Emily Wallace, writer of the book Scarred for Life. Now, before the tech issues, Emily, I wanted to ask you, was it a hard decision when you decided to write your autobiography?
Yes, it was a hard decision. It was hard because I had to go back in time. I had to go back all the way back. The very first time when I, decided to write the book, I had to go all the way back. I had to just, think of all the things. I mean, because I never forgotten the things, but to really just sit up and think about it and everything that went on, and, it was very hard. But I decided to, I had a lot of support with my husband and my kids that were saying, Mom, write the book. You can do this. And, it'll help a lot of people. It'll help a lot of kids. Write the book and tell your story. So I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to do it. But it was hard. But once I got through it and got to writing it, I can tell you this, the clean version was a piece of cake.
Mm. Mm. So did you use writing your book as one of your many coping mechanisms so that you could did you use writing the book as one of your coping mechanisms so you could start to try to come to terms with what happened to you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So would you say that it's definitely cathartic then? It's been a type of therapy for you writing the book?
Yes, it is. Even when you're writing something on paper, that's a lot of therapists. That's a lot of, like you're getting counseling. You're putting it down. You put it down on paper. Even while I'm talking with you guys, on the air, telling my story is counseling. Anytime I tell my story, I'm getting counseling.
And Emily, this is Kay Rose, the producer, and I've been listening to the entire show, and I have so many questions. So, Avani, we really have to convince Emily to come on again. That's the first thing. And what I wanted to do, Emily, is kind of go back to a couple of different periods that you've talked about. and
Mhm.
especially talk about one thing that unfortunately, in a lot of communities of color,